This is the network service of the NTA.
It is my hope that this exercise will receive the usual kind, expeditious consideration of the distinguished Senate.
Senate receives ministerial list set to screen 43 nominees.
One can just imagine the jobs we will create in the sector when the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, the police, customs, immigration, Federal Road Safety Corps, NYSC, and many more fully patronize our local industries.
Towards revitalizing Nigeria's textile industry, President Buhari directs patronage of locally produced garments for all uniformed institutions. Plus, President Buhari again mandates law enforcement agencies to intensify security as more than 50 suspected Shiites are retained in police custody. Good evening. This is the network news coming to you live from the NTA. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Reading with me from Lagos is Hengino James Adams, John Adams, I beg your pardon, while Obehi Otobo Apresai joins me from Benin. The Senate is to commence the screening of ministerial nominees on Wednesday, the 24th of July, 2019. This followed the transmission of 43 names from President Muhammadu Buhari in accordance with the Section 147, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko has the report.
The Senate reconvened into a closed-door session. 1 hour after, the closed-door session ends and President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, read the most anticipated executive communication. The names of ministerial nominees for confirmation, as requested by President Muhammadu Buhari, include Uche Chukwuoga, Mohammed Musa Bello, Godswill Ababio, Miriam Katangum, George Akume, Mustafa Babas Shahuri, Clement Abba, Geoffrey Onyama, Emeka Wajuba, Suleiman Adamu, Zainab Ahmed, Mohammed Mahmoud, Abubakar Malami, Hadi Sirika, Ramatu Tijani, Lai Mohammed, Bwemisola Saraki, Rauf Arebwe Shola, Pauline Talin, Rotimi Amechi, Abubakar Aliu, and Sadia Umar Farouk.
It is my hope that this exercise will receive the usual kind, expeditious consideration of the distinguished Senate. Please accept, Mr. Senate President, the assurances of my highest regards. You are sincerely Muhammadu Buhari.
Among the immediate past ministers that were nominated include Lai Mohammed, Abubakar Malami, Geoffrey Onyama, Zainab Ahmed, Chris Ngige, Adamu, Hadi Sirika, Babatunde Fashola, and Rotimi Amechi. Senate thereafter confirmed the appointment of 15 special advisors to President Muhammadu Buhari. The chairman, Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Adedayo Adeye, briefed Senate correspondents on the presidential request.
Which is to look at them based on their qualification, their experience, their security clearance, and then to make a judgment that these people are fit and proper people to hold the high office of minister.
It is expected that the Senate will conclude a screening of all the nominees before embarking on its annual recess. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Unko, NTN News.
Joining me in the studio to discuss President Muhammadu Buhari's ministerial nomination list for confirmation by the Senate is a former minority leader in the House of Representatives, Farouk Adamu Aliyu. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening.
Will you say this list is late in coming, as some people are saying?
It's not late, absolutely. I mean, compared to what happened the last time, when the list came in October, sometimes in October. So I don't think it's late. I mean, people expected and it came. So it's not late, absolutely.
Well, as someone who is a chieftain of the APC, how would you say these nominees will help in President Muhammadu Buhari's, or rather achievement of President Muhammadu Buhari's next level agenda?
Yeah, first of all, the nominees have to a large extent satisfied the yearnings of politicians, where the politicians wanted Mr. President to expand the cabinet, from 36, which he did this time around 43. And if you look at them, all of them have background of where they came from, what they were doing, how they became what they became. That's among the new list. And when you go to the old list, you find out that these are people that certainly have done one thing or another in the ministry of the health. Just like, which means it's a point of improvement, point of accolade, point of kudos by Mr. President, from them. And you could also see, on the list, people that have really worked for the party, people that have really worked for the country across diverse backgrounds. So I think so far so good.
What of gender balance?
Yeah, I think gender balance and also the involvement of youth. I think there's an oversight from that side. But then let's also go back to the last time. The last time, probably Mr. President, in fact, I'm sure Mr. President couldn't reshuffle the cabinet because of the crisis between the executive and National Assembly. So I hope this time around, Mr. President will look at it and adjust the gender balance, because certainly the women, I think they're about 8 now, and also the youth, because the average age of the ministerial nominees is about 50 actually. So I think that also needs to be looked at. But so far so good. It's a grade 1 list.
When you say the president may adjust his cabinet, are you envisaging a situation whereby some people will be dropped some way?
Well,
or there's the likelihood some of these nominees may not go the whole stretch of 4 years like the others did? Well,
you see, now this is next level, and the next level is expected to bring about better than what happened at the first level. So, and somewhere along the line, humans are not infallible. Some may, trip between now and 2023. So I'm sure those ones will be replaced. That's what I'm calling on. Like when that time comes, maybe the youth and the women should be looked into.
Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu, former minority leader of the House of Representatives, thank you so much all the time for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Bureau of Public Procurement has been directed to ensure that all uniformed institutions of the federal government patronize locally produced garments as a deliberate attempt towards revitalizing Nigeria's textile industry. President Muhammadu Buhari gave the directive while granting audience to the National Union of Textile, Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria. The president says his administration will not allow Nigeria to continue exporting jobs at the expense of her citizens. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
This is the first formal engagement between the National Union of Textile, Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria with any sitting president of the country since formation over 40 years ago. The historic event is not, however, the main reason for the joyous moment, but most importantly, the unprecedented, result-oriented steps taken by the Buhari administration towards revitalizing the textile industry.
Your Excellency, we are here to acknowledge and commend your efforts in changing the narrative of textile from that of closures to a bold new initiative to revive the industry back to the good old days.
Consequently, the union's national president, John Adaji, conferred on President Buhari an honorary permanent member and life patron of the union. The president said with the potential of the textile and garment sector to create millions of jobs, his administration will stop at nothing towards bringing back the good old days.
One can just imagine the jobs we will create in the sector when the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, the police, customs, immigration, Federal Road Safety Corps, NYSC, and many more fully patronize our local industries.
Nigeria, President Buhari said, is now firmly on the path of sustainable growth and therefore all its citizens, especially the young, dynamic, as well as energetic, as many jobs as possible.
I want to assure you that we shall remain committed to creating an inclusive and diversified economy that provides jobs, opportunities for all Nigerians, regardless of tribe, religion, or politics. We will not allow the importation of clothing items which can be produced locally. We owe this to the over 200 million Nigerians.
The president blamed many of the challenges being faced by the country today to the concentration of wealth and opportunities in a few sectors that do not create jobs for the majority, saying this will not be the case anymore under his watch. Apart from providing suggestions on the best way forward, the National Union of Textile, Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria pledged continued support and cooperation towards creating more jobs and growing the economy.
For Nigeria to realize to the fullest the potentials existing in our sector, your administration should establish a Ministry of Textile. We urge you to remain steadfast, not to be distracted in the task of nation building. We will partner with you to defend the unity of Nigeria. We will also partner with you to create more jobs for the youths and keep them out of the streets.
Records show that from over 180 functional textile mills employing more than 320,000 workers in the 70s and 80s, Nigeria now has only about 25 mills. But with the changing narrative, returning to the good old days is just a matter of time. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The federal government has promised to ensure that more investments are channeled in Nigeria's technological sector towards further opening the space for enhanced creativity, innovation, and digital skills. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while receiving letters of credence from 3 new ambassadors posted to Nigeria. He noted that this is to provide job opportunities for the youths and grow the economy. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports.
The new envoys that presented their letters of credence to President Muhammadu Buhari were the Portuguese ambassador to Nigeria, Luis Felipe Ribeiro da Silva Barros, Jamaican High Commissioner Esmond St. Clair Reed, as well as the ambassador of Indonesia, Dr. Usra Hendra Harahap. Exchanging views with the Portuguese ambassador, President Muhammadu Buhari said the wave of technological growth across the globe has provided more opportunities for development, especially economies willing to retool and build capacities in areas of need. Nigeria, he said, is endowed with abundant human resource potentials, not only willing but waiting to be meaningfully engaged, and therefore urged the ambassador to focus on building stronger economic ties with the country that will be mutually rewarding. Ambassador da Silva Barros of Portugal, who noted the various startup companies in many parts of Nigeria, said his country will support efforts at enhancing the capacity of the small businesses, especially in areas of agriculture, academics, vocational skills, and security. He congratulated the president for winning a second term of office and promised to push bilateral relations with Nigeria to new levels. Engaging the High Commissioner of Jamaica to Nigeria, President Buhari described as pleasing the growing community of Nigerians in the country conducting themselves harmoniously and exploring opportunities in businesses. The president assured the High Commissioner of Nigeria's support in improving bilateral relations. The Jamaican envoy told the president that Nigerians in Jamaica have been very active in academics and looks forward to broader cooperation in areas of tourism as well as craft and skills transfer. At a similar engagement with Ambassador Harahap of Indonesia, the president said trade relations between both countries should be improved and appreciated the country for always standing by Nigeria in international affairs like the recent election of Nigeria's permanent representatives to the United Nations, Professor Tijani Muhammad Bande, as president of 74th General Assembly. The Indonesian envoy said his country will be willing to have stronger relations with Nigeria on security, trade, and crude oil importation, saying Nigeria's oil is top quality and deeply needed in his country. All the new envoys were treated to a befitting diplomatic reception on arrival at the presidential villa by officers and soldiers of the Presidential Guards Brigade. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still at the State House, President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with the families of Precious Owolabi, a National Youth Corps member with Channels Television, and Deputy Commissioner of Police Usman Omar of the FCT Police Command, who died during the violent protest by members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, otherwise called Shiites, in Abuja on Monday. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Buhari describes Owolabi and DCP Umar as law-abiding, hard-working Nigerians whose deaths were most regrettable. President Buhari assured Nigerians to go about their lawful activities without fear, as he has already directed law enforcement agencies to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, says the security and welfare of Corps members will not be compromised. Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Shoaibu Ibrahim, reaffirmed this during a visit to Corps member Suleiman Aliu, serving with leadership newspapers, who sustained injuries as a result of a stray bullet at the National Hospital. The NYSC boss also visited the morgue where the body of Precious Owolabi was kept. Owolabi was serving with Channels Television. The incident happened during the protest by members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites, that later became violent. Olayinka Ojo reports that the NYSC boss, while expressing sadness over the incident, described the demise of Precious Owolabi as a great loss to the NYSC, his family, and the nation at large.
I condole the family of the deceased that his service to our country will not be in vain, and that may his soul rest in perfect peace.
Remains of late Precious Owolabi, a graduate of performing arts from the University of Ilorin, have been taken to Zaria, Kaduna State, where his parents reside. More than 50 suspects are currently in police custody following Monday's violent protests by members of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, which left a senior police officer and Channels Television reporter dead. This, however, did not deter the sect members who again took to the streets early today, protesting around Banex Plaza in Abuja. The protest march disrupted business activities around the area, making citizens who are going about their legitimate businesses scamper for safety. Security operatives were, however, quick to disperse them. Force Public Relations Officer Frank Mba, speaking exclusively to NTA, says the police will not stand against the right of citizens to peaceful protest. There will now be intense surveillance and other security measures aimed at ensuring safety of lives and property, he added.
A cordon around the city, and we will do everything that is permissible under the law to keep Nigerians safe.
The police PRO urges all law-abiding Nigerians to go about their legitimate businesses without fear. Subsidy removal, NNPC and the CBN to appear before the Senate. Details when we return.
Follow! Kitty. He doesn't want overripe things. Dudu by nature. Black is beautiful. Oh, talk to the hand. The baby is black. Ask her. Uche, quickly send me the baby video.
Okay, ma.
Yeah, he's playing.
Oh my goodness. He's loving it. Oh, thank you.
Welcome. Bye.
Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, invites all secretaries to state governments, permanent secretaries, heads of cabinet affairs offices in the North Central Geopolitical Zone, consisting of Abuja FCT, Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, and Plateau states, to the 6th in the series of the regional meeting for secretaries to the state government and heads, permanent secretaries of cabinet affairs offices, which is a follow-up meeting on the outcome of the maiden meeting held in the second quarter of 2019 in Abuja for secretaries to the state government, permanent secretaries, heads of cabinet affairs offices. The meeting is designed to, among other things, develop a synergy between the cabinet affairs offices at the federal and state levels in order to develop a framework for a community of practice. The follow-up meeting is scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Thursday, July 25th, 2019. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, Ta'al Conference Hotel, Jos Road, Lafia, Nasarawa State. Announcer, Babatunde Lawal, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
This food delivery stuff, not just anybody can do it though. If you're stuck in traffic, the food does spoil be that. This place don't take like Lagos, but if you get packaged like this, you guys take them fast as they hot. I try using map for my former data. Thing will just be loading. That's why I switch over to More Blaze. Boy, my More Blaze does not fail. If you like, believing inside Koro, my More Blaze will find you. One time like that, as I arrived with the food, the lady was like, "But I only just called you." See, as the food is hot, that's how my More Blaze the hot.
It's more than just data. It's More Blaze 4G LTE. Get 2 gig welcome data plus 1 year data bonus on any of these devices. 9 Mobile. Here for you. Here for Niger.
In furtherance to the directive of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, that all ministries, departments, and agencies drawing their personnel cost from the Consolidated Revenue Fund should enroll into the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS. All tertiary institutions that are currently not on IPPIS are hereby enjoined to enroll in the ongoing IPPIS exercise in compliance with the presidential directive. The purpose is to achieve, among others, the following: to enable the federal government ascertain the actual number of employees in its payroll in all MDAs, to determine and budget the actual personnel cost of all MDAs drawing their personnel cost from the Consolidated Revenue Fund, to enrich probity, transparency, and accountability in the federal government expenditure in all MDAs. Note that the payroll application system is robust and flexible enough to accommodate all peculiarities such as sabbatical, check-off dues, as well as other third-party deductions duly approved. To achieve a seamless enrollment, all federal employees are required to show understanding and cooperate with IPPIS enrollment officers throughout the Federation. Ahmed Idris, FCNA, Accountant General of the Federation. Announcer.
The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation is set to review the public service rules. In view of this, all civil and public servants are to visit the website www.ohcsf.gov.ng. Click on Review of Public Service Rules to view and download the rules, study provisions of the rules, and leave their comment on identified or obsolete areas for deliberation. Hard copies of comments can be forwarded to the Director, ODD, OHCSF, while the soft copy to fanga.fanga@yahoo.com, latest by close of work on Friday, 26 July 2019. Dr. Magdalene Ajani, Permanent Secretary, Service Policies and Strategies Office, Announcer.
The Ministry of Interior cordially invites stakeholders to sensitization conferences across the geopolitical zones on the conduct of statutory marriage in accordance with the Marriage Act (CAP) M6 Law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004 as amended. The conferences with the theme Achieving Harmonious Compliance in the Conduct of Statutory Marriages in Nigeria are scheduled to hold at 9 a.m. Northern Geopolitical Zones. Date, Wednesday, 24th July 2019. Venue, NAF Conference and Suites, Kudu, Abuja. Southwest Zones. Date, Thursday, 1st August 2019. Venue, Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Ikeja, Lagos. Southeast and South-South Zones. Date, Date, Thursday, 8th August 2019. Venue, Hotel Presidential, Port Harcourt, River State. For further inquiries, please contact Mrs. Kazi on 0806 006 3666. Maureen on 0816 44 57006. Announcer, Georgina Ehuria, Permanent Secretary and Principal Registrar of Marriages in Nigeria.
The general public is cordially invited to the luncheon in honor of Professor Ladi S. Adamu, first female professor of broadcasting from northern Nigeria, on her promotion as professor, Department of Mass Communication, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Chief host, Professor Ibrahim Garba, Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Date, July 27th, 2019. Time, 11 a.m. prompt. Venue, NAERLS Suits Conference Center, Ahmadu Bello University, Samaru, Zaria, Nuga Gate, Main Campus. Come and celebrate this grand event. Signed, Organizing Committee.
Thank you for remaining with the NTA. The House of Representatives has set up an ad hoc committee to interface with the executive arm of government and heads of security agencies in order to devise new strategies towards tackling the violent protests by the Islamic Movement of Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports that the resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance by Representative Mohammed Bello from Kano State on the need to curtail the extremism by the Shiite group.
The House of Representatives noted that activities of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria have become a threat to the FCT and its environs and could put in jeopardy the corporate existence of Nigeria, especially as lives and property of the countrymen are being lost.
If urgent steps are not taken to proscribe Islamic Movement of Nigeria or declare their assembly unlawful in Nigeria, the group may likely arm itself and turn a deadly group.
We need to nip these things in the bud. We need to step away from rhetorics.
With adequate policing, the Shiites, that congregation of yesterday, cannot come together and do what they do without them being...
I don't even subscribe to the idea of proscribing them. It's a registered organization, but as a registered organization operating under a democratic polity, we must be able to operate by the rules.
The members, however, expressed contrary views when the Speaker called for amendments of prayers on the motion.
My amendment is specific to Kaduna State government to obey the court order that had granted bail to the Sheikh, because that would actually guarantee peace.
So those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays have it.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker!
The situation warranted a closed-door session, after which the Speaker disclosed resolution of the House on the matter.
Ad hoc committee to interface with the executive on the security issues raised. Honorable Ado Dogwa will chair. Honorable Undidi Elumelu, Honorable Mohamed Shehu, Honorable Ade Adiogun, Honorable Idu Igariwe, Honorable Victor Nwokolo, Honorable Makama Ibrahim Misal.
In another motion of urgent public importance by Representative Taiwo Oluga from Osun State, the House believes that addressing the increasing number of out-of-school children in the country will be instrumental to containing security challenges and issues of underdevelopment across the nation. Plenary was adjourned till Wednesday, the 24th of July 2019. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has assured Nigerians that the federal government is making plans to adopt an effective community policing as part of measures to address various security challenges in the country. He stated this in Osogbo at a security consultative meeting with traditional rulers in Osun State. Femi Afariaogun reports.
The consultation meeting with traditional rulers in Osun State at the instance of the presidency, among others, is to find lasting solution to the current security challenges in the country, particularly kidnapping in parts of the southwestern region. The meeting was held behind closed doors for more than an hour. Vice President noted that After due consultation with service chiefs and state governors, there is a need to meet with the traditional rulers because they understand the security architecture of their domain and the state in general.
They are a most important component of the security architecture of the state, in particular because of the plans that we have for community policing, which is one of the methods of policing that we have adopted, and I'm sure you've heard the Inspector General of Police talking about it. This would involve recruiting policemen locally in their local governments and letting them remain in their local governments where they've been recruited so that they obviously will better understand the landscape.
And the program that the government have put in place, we believe it's going to work. We are very happy about the program of Neighborhood Watch and community policing. What is now key that government is going to put in place is aerial monitoring all the forests in southwest from the air on routine and occasional basis. We got commitment from government concerning that, and they will deploy more security apparatus to southwest.
The Vice President also reacted to the violent protest by the Shiite movement.
As you know, some of these issues are dynamic, and we have to keep ensuring that we're steps ahead of it. I'm very confident that given a lot of what has been done already and what the IG himself intends to put in place, we'll be able to contain most of the security challenges without much problem.
Vice President Oshibajo has since left Oshogbo. In Oshogbo, Femi Alfariogun, NTA News.
The Senate has resolved to invite the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, and other stakeholders to brief the legislators on the issue of subsidy removal. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Sunko reports.
Motion followed a motion by Senator Rose Oko, which expressed concern over the status of existing refineries in Nigeria, including private and modular refineries and licenses issued. The motion sought ways of improving local refining of petroleum products.
That about 43 refineries, including large-scale and modular refineries, have been granted licenses to refine petroleum products across the country.
Senator Patrick Abba Moro moved that the Senate do condemn the attacks in Agatu local government area of Benue State and urges authorities to strengthen security in the area. As the Senate urged the federal government to commence construction works on the Aba-Ikote-Mene Road and all other such roads across the country to prevent them from total collapse, as moved by Senator Christopher Ebenyong.
With sympathy that this dastardly act are being perpetrated against innocent persons of the Benue South Senatorial District despite several peace agreements or accords entered into by the parties.
Delay in the construction of Aba-Ikote-Mene Road, which was awarded to Niger Kite Construction Company since 2008.
Delays in the construction of highways across the nation, Diko, Lambata, Mina roads, and others.
The security agencies, especially the police, to deploy their personnel to those grey spots where hoodlums have found solace and made it their habitable abode, mostly at odd hours.
Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress caucus in the Senate, after a closed-door meeting, briefed Senate correspondents, during which the Senate leader described security challenge as a national matter that should not be politicized.
Really, it's not just a partisan APC matter. This is a national matter. This is an issue that has been taken off by the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. They have also engaged the security organs of this country.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, granted audience to a delegation from the Northeast Alliance for Buhari 2019 group, during which he reminded them of the many decisive steps President Muhammadu Buhari took on assumption of office in tackling insecurity in the Northeast.
The first major decision he took as a president was to say that the command structure of the army or the armed forces should move to the Northeast to fight the insurgency.
Northeast Alliance for Buhari 2019 is made up of politicians who decamped from the People's Democratic Party and other political parties in the 6 states of the Northeast geopolitical zone for the support of President Muhammadu Buhari. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
2 persons have been confirmed dead, 1 hospitalized and some injured following a quarry site accident which occurred in Ibadan. Shola Wahid reports that a similar incident had occurred in the past at the same site.
The accident occurred while the quarry suddenly caved in on the workers and buried them alive. One has been hospitalized.
We have already loaded the truck when the laterals caved in. I hid under the truck. It was God's will.
I need help. He doesn't have a father. He does the work to survive.
The medical doctor attending to the victim says he has a chance to survive.
He was brought in with an injury, a deep cut to the head, and then we quickly attended to the patient, and we had to suture it, and then we stabilized the patient by giving fluid, and we did necessary tests. We give antibiotics, and immediately the patient came around.
As at the time of filing this report, details are sketchy on the fate of other victims. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Nigerians cannot allow the additional demands by senior civil servants to delay the full implementation of the new national minimum wage. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, stated this while answering questions from newsmen in Abuja. Adebola Brooks and Sunday reports.
In April this year, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the bill approving 30,000 naira as the new minimum wage into law. This was passed by both chambers of the National Assembly, a news that excited the entire citizenry. Mrs. Oyoita said some unrealistic demands by Senior Civil Servants Union has been the reason for the delay, adding that the new minimum wage will impact more on the lower cadre staff.
So as not to continue delaying the implementation of a well thought out and very dear policy to Mr. President, we had to go ahead and seek his approval to implement the minimum wage effective from April, while we continue discussion on the consequential adjustment.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation also urged public and civil servants to make inputs to the public service rules that is undergoing review.
These rules and regulations are also designed in such a way that they can provide the most optimum productivity.
So if you're part of the process, you work very hard to live within those rules and regulations.
The present public service rules have been in existence for over 18 years. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the aircraftman Bashir Umar for returning the sum of 37,000 euros he found at the Hajj Camp Market in Kano. President Buhari described the airman's conduct as uncommon, patriotic and exemplary, which other Nigerians, especially the youth, should emulate. He applauded the leadership of the Nigerian Air Force for its decision to reward the airman so as to encourage other personnel of the service to continue to display attitudes and behaviors that reflect Nigerian Air Force's core integrity, excellence and service delivery. Let's join Hingina John Adams in Lagos for more reports on NTA Network News. Hingina, over to you.
Thank you, Kudu, and welcome to Lagos. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, National Leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu have extolled the virtues and legacies of the first civilian governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lateef Jakande, who clocked 90 years. Nosausla reports that dignitaries at his birthday celebration in Ikeja also appreciated his contributions to the development of the media in the country.
The vice president described Lateef Jakande as a man of integrity who epitomized excellence and honesty. He added that his achievements remains a reference point in Lagos and by extension Nigeria.
I'm sure that many years from now,
many people, all of us, generations after, will remember the man who transformed Lagos, and by transforming Lagos, transformed Nigeria. Ideologically, he has never departed from a progressive path, always.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu described the first executive governor of the state, Alhaji Lateef Jakande, as a role model of selfless service. He added that Jakande's administration remained a reference point of governance in the state.
Jakande is synonymous with development, either in water, either in education, either in housing. It is synonymous, and it is a name that nobody can toy with.
Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande was a journalist who became governor of Lagos State from 1979 to 1983 and later was Minister of Works under the Sani Abacha military regime. He introduced housing and educational programs targeting the poor. In Lagos, Nusa, Osula, NTA News.
The fire that gutted shops and a boys' quarter by the side of an event center on Kosoko Road, Ojodubega, has been attributed to a power surge in the area. Shop owners and victims have appealed to public-spirited Nigerians to come to their aid so as to cushion the effect. Paul Omokago reports.
Neighbors assisting victims of the inferno to clear the wreckage, with a number of those whose shops were burnt still in shock. Bola Jola Awo is a victim of the fire.
I sell diaper, necklace, accessories.
Get 5 times recharge with *555*
Make I sell my market finish first, eh? I will call you back. Oh.
Unlimited.
Ronaldo na the highest goal. Ronaldo na the highest champion.
Let me position to see me on the second. If you check with look at it like this.
Mini-Me, taste the fun. I want to change my car to a better one, and I know one make them do me. I hear say company day, where fit help me, so I no need worry. So I go to Cars 45. Them don't help me. Now I'm happy. Everybody see any deal where you want to with your car. Buy, sell, swap. Stick it to Cars 45. Buy, sell, swap. Better value in good time. Buy, sell, swap. All now it's Cars 45. Buy, sell, swap.
Cars45.com. Buy, sell, swap.
Does Pick now have Pick 456?
Yes, Mom. It's for Bella.
Why does she have her own milk?
Mama, she's still growing, especially her brain. She needs the right nutrients to help her grow strong and smart.
90% of brain development happens in the first 5 years of life. Like plants need certain nutrients to grow, kids need the right nutrients to grow up strong and smart. Peak 456 with DHA is specially formulated for children 4 to 6 years old to support brain development. Get them ready for what's ahead with Peak 456 with DHA to help them grow up strong and smart.
Now available in new pack and 16-gram sachet.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please. This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, it's not Indomie. Don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
Taste
the difference? Yes, difference is in the taste. Nothing tastes like my Indomie.
Indomie Super Pack, now available at 85 Naira. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Maggie's signature. Better love done set with me. Maggie's signature. Tomatoes, bay leaves, onions, pepper. It's a complete cooking mix.
It's my party jollof.
It's my signature.
It's our signature.
New Maggie Signature. The complete cooking mix comes in jollof, pottage, and mere variants.
Back to Abuja, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has maintained the status quo in its July 2019 meeting, contrary to speculations of likely drop in interest rates by financial and economic experts. Amina Nujan is here in the studio with details on business news. Welcome, Amina.
Thank you, Mohammed. There was the notion in the Nigerian financial and economic circles that the NBC will reduce the interest rate from 13.50% to encourage banks to lend. But the meeting maintained the benchmark. Asymmetric corridor was also retained at plus 200 basis points and minus 500 basis points around the MPR. Cash reserve ratio retained at 22.50%, while the liquidity ratio remains at 30%. The committee says it maintained the status quo in view of the global economic growth and Nigeria's inflation figure, which is still at 11.22%.
Could increase money supply, stimulate aggregate demand, and strengthen domestic production. The economy could be awash with excess liquidity, especially if loosening drives growth in consumer credit without commensurate adjustment in aggregate output.
The MPC had reduced the MPR in March by 50 points to 13.50% from 14%. The Central Bank of Nigeria also revealed the federal government's plan to ban importation of milk into the country, as government can no longer continue to lose about $1.5 million to the importation of milk. And finally, from the equities markets, the week may have opened with negative sentiments as the NSE OSHA index dips. That trend was, however, reversed Tuesday. The OSHA index and market capitalization appreciated by 1.21% to close the day's session above the 27,000 basis points recorded on Monday, while market capitalization stood at 13.717 trillion naira. A total of 135 million shares were traded in 3,358 deals. This was valued at 2.092 billion naira. Guarantee Trust Bank recorded the highest volume of trade with 15 million shares, followed closely by Zenith Bank, 12 million, and WAPCO. We now join Obehi in Benin for our next reports. Hello, Obehi.
Thanks for joining us in Benin. Governors of the southwest region of the country have pledged to overhaul the security architecture of the region to address insecurity challenges. This is the outcome of a security summit held by the governors in Akure, Ondo State. Wasiu Rauf has details.
The recent kidnappings and killings in the region spurred the governors into action with a resolve to draw up new strategies to curtail the rising menace. The meeting of the governors was a follow-up to the security summit held last month in Ibadan, Oyo State. Ondo State Governor, who is also the chairman of the Governors Forum, Mr. Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, stated that the governors are more than ever before determined to secure the zone.
We have received the report of the Technical Committee, and the governors of all the states in Western Nigeria, we have now discussed the Technical Committee report, and we are set to take immediate action. We can assure you that from next month, you will see that our security architecture will have changed from what we have now.
The Security Summit was at the instance of the Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, otherwise known as Dawn Commission, in Nakure. Wasiu Rauf, NT News.
And that's it from Benin. It's over to Abuja now for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Obehi. The Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has confirmed that an AirPeace airline made an emergency landing in Lagos at about 11:28 hours this Tuesday. A statement by the General Manager, Corporate Affairs of FAN, Henrietta Yakubu, says the pilot, while preparing to land in Lagos from Port Harcourt, perceived it might encounter difficulties landing on the 18L runway due to sudden change in the weather. The pilot therefore requested to land on 18R, and the request was granted. However, in the process of landing, the nose gear developed a problem and partially collapsed. FAN was immediately notified, and officials swiftly ensured safe disembarkation of the passengers and crew via the passenger door. All 139 persons on board were safely evacuated. The authority has cleared the debris on the runway, and normal operations has commenced on the runway 18R. The Accident Investigation and Prevention Bureau has commenced investigation into the cause of the incident.